Hi folks, I'm Nate with Two Guys and a Ride, and welcome to our Car Tech how-to video on the 2023 Toyota Venza, and this is the limited trim level with all-wheel drive. Today, I'll be covering the driver's information and infotainment screens. I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started. Today, we're working with our friends at Lead Car Toyota Mankato in beautiful Mankato, Minnesota. The driver screen is now a 12.3-inch all-digital screen. As compared to before, it was two analog gauges with a digital information center in the middle. This is all digital. Right now, the way it's set up, you've got indicator gauge on the left showing you whether you're charging, whether you're driving in eco mode or you're using a lot of power. This is a hybrid, which is why it has that gauge. Over in the middle, of course, you have a bunch of information that you can manipulate. And then over on the far right, currently we're showing the speedometer, as well as some trip information and a distance to empty down there. And then, of course, your gear selector. There is a lot of ways to configure the information on this dashboard. And to do that, you're going to use the arrows that are on the left side of the steering wheel, the OK button, and the back button. Now, I'll just point out right now, this is your phone button if you want to make a phone call. This is your voice command button, but you can just say, hey, Toyota, and speak your command, and it will do it by voice command. You don't even have to press that button. And this is your volume button for your media. Okay, so to start with, you can configure the look of the dashboard. You can configure what's inside of each of the gauges, and you can configure what shows up in the middle. Now, to show you the different gauges first that you can have, the different looks, you're going to press and hold the OK button, and you get the brackets that show up in the center. Now, what you want to do is you want to go down to settings right here, and you want to click, and then you're going to go down to meter settings. Press OK, press and hold. Now, there are two things you can change: meter type and meter style. So we're going to start by changing the meter type. Okay, and I'm going to just click OK. And then, so I've got this view that I have, but I can switch to this one. Just click OK. Now you have this little line here that says widgets. And if you look on the right and the left of the screen, you're going to see some things appear down there. So I'm going to hit the OK button, and you see you get a few extra things. So for instance, over on the far right, that's, I believe, is Apple CarPlay showing up. And then, of course, on the far left, you get your miles per gallon. Okay, if you don't like those widgets, you can take those off. So in other words, that one on the right is media. If I change modes, see, yep, that changes. Okay, so I am going to go use the back button here. And then I'm going to go up one more, and we can change to this look, which kind of gets rid of all the gauges, kind of simplifies things. And again, you have a choice of whether you want to turn on the widgets or not. Okay, so to show you this next part here, I am actually going to go back to this view. Okay, and then I'm going to press the back button. Then I'm going to go down to meter style and click here. So right now I'm in what's called smart. I can go to what's called casual. I can go to what's called tough. And I can go to what's called sporty. So, and just to show you quick, if I go back here and go to meter type, and I go, say, up to this one, the style will stay the same no matter which type you select, okay, which is nice. Okay, so that is how you can change your dashboard look, okay? So I'm going to go back here for a minute and make sure we have this one. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. There we go. Now, there's a way to configure also the information that shows up inside the left gauge and the right gauge. Okay, so you're going to again press and hold this. And then you're going to notice that in addition to those brackets, there's little arrows. So if I go to the left, Now you can see I got brackets in here, okay? And I'm going to just, this is like a calm screen, so it just gets rid of all that center information. I can have this, 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 or this. If I click it again, I go back to the top menu. Now you'll notice that there is another arrow off to the left. So if I click that arrow, whoops, I got to do it quick enough. All right, so let's go back here for a second and press OK. If you wait too long, it times out on you. So I'm going to go left right away. And now everything that I just showed you inside this gauge is check marked. Okay. However, everything that's not check marked can also be shown. So for instance, I'm going to say, well, I want all-wheel drive to be one of my choices. Energy monitor, trip A, trip B, drive info, audio, navigation, and driving support. Now, if I go back, all of these things are now in here. The reason that some of them are not check marked originally from the factory, and you may want to leave it that way, is because I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go one more to the right. You have the same information that's available over here. So what they've done is given you the same information in both gauges, but then they've only check marked certain things to show up in each gauge. So it's always different. I always just prefer having everything available, and then I can make a quick switch without going back to this screen. But you know, that's up to you. So, but it's nice that they allow you to check mark everything. Once in a while, we see a vehicle where they don't allow you to check mark everything. So now I'm gonna hit back, and now if I go through here, I have all the same options in this inside the speedometer dial that I do inside of this Charge Eco Power gauge right here. But I kind of like that way because, again, I can pick from anything. And then I can switch over here. Oops, switch over here and select what I want right there. Okay, so that is the way you can configure the dashboard. Now, I'm going to press and hold here again. And we're going to take a dive into a few more things here. So right now, this is your adaptive cruise control. And if you had this displaying, the black lines you see would be your lane guidance to the outside of the lanes, and then gap setting would show up in there as well. I think I can show you that. There we go. There's your gap setting right there. Okay, now I'm gonna press and hold OK again. Okay, we have settings. I'm going to go down here. Any messages that pop up relating to your vehicle would be right here. Back to the top with the calm screen. So the one I really want to get into is settings. So we're going to just click. Now, this has a really nice 10-inch HUD display. Okay, HUD stands for heads up display. It looks like it's displaying off the end of your hood. And this is in color. It does navigation. It shows you if the vehicle's charging or not charging as you're driving, like are you regenerating power or not. Shows you your gear selector, shows you your dynamic radar cruise control, shows you your lane keeping assist, shows you your media, shows you turn by turn. Lots of different information. This is where you can turn that all off if you don't want it. And then the HUD goes off. Personally, I absolutely love the HUD, and I discovered that when I'm driving vehicles with HUD, I hardly ever look at the dashboard. When you look at the HUD, you're still looking out at the road you're driving on, which is really, really neat. Okay, let's keep going here. You've got a bunch of safety systems here. On most of these, if you click and hold, you can actually go into a whole bunch of settings, like do you want lane center on? This is what keeps you in the center of the lane. You may find that annoying. Well, just click OK to turn it off. If it's on, you can say what alert options do I want. Do I want audio? Let's see, I got to press OK again. You can hear that with the steering wheel buzzing, so I can have it either way. Now, I can also set that sensitivity, okay, full sensitivity, mid sensitivity. And do I want a sway warning on or off? So you have all these options. And I'm not going to go through each and every one of these, but they work the same way. Even blind spot monitoring that has just the on-off button, if I click and hold OK, Now I can change the sensitivity of it, and I can change the brightness of the lights in the mirrors that light up as people are going by you, or as people are in your blind spot. Okay, so all of these, you just click and hold, and you can go into them. Okay, lots of ways to do there. Now, I'm going to jump down to vehicle settings for a minute and click here. Yeah, click and hold on that one. Dynamic radar cruise control. So, if you want curve speed reduction, it will if it senses you're going around a curve too fast, based on from what I can tell, the angle of the steering wheel, it'll automatically slow you down a little bit. Now, you want that off, you can do that. You can press it again, you get a little bit of reduction. Here you get the maximum reduction that the car will give you around the curve. All right, I'm gonna hit the back arrow. Okay, this is the back door adjustment. So if I press and hold here, actually it's just a click and hold. I can turn that hands-free tailgate off completely. I can turn just the hands-free part off. I can click and hold here, and I can adjust the level. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to, I'm assuming that would be the tallest it can go. All right, hit the back button here. Volume for that back door, you know, it chimes at you too loudly, you can adjust that right there. I'm just going to click back here, but all of these work the same way. So just a whole lot of things here. You want to reset your oil, you can just click there, and you can go up and say reset. And it's the same thing with scheduled maintenance. As scheduled maintenance appears, and you want to reset that, you can go up there, highlight yes, and click OK. Now, I'm going to go back twice. Last one in here, I believe, is meter settings. So if I click here, click and hold, you can change language, units, and we already did meter type and meter style. I showed you that. So under language here, you get 3 different choices. Over here on units, you get quite a few choices. Okay, and you can select what you would like and then click on OK. Hit the back button to get out. All right, I'm going to go all the way back. Okay, now one other way that you can change some information, if you don't press and hold the OK button, you do have an option. If you press the left or right arrows without pressing the OK button, it's going to give you 3 different things in each of the gauges. So if right now I've got EcoZone and drive info. If I press it once, I get tire pressure and drive info over there. If I press it again, I get just drive info over here and a calm screen inside the left gauge. Press it again and I'm back there. So a little bit of a shortcut to get some commonly used things. The last thing I'll show you is I just have some drive modes, and things do change a little bit on the dashboard. So if I click this, okay, first of all, you get this picture. Now this will go away in a minute. This is sport. But when it does go away, you see you get a little red background now. If I click it again and I go down to normal, which is, we were in eco, I believe. So this should look a little bit different maybe. Yep, you get a little blue in the background. And if I go down again to eco, and after this picture goes away, you're going to get a little green in the background. So that's all that changes during the mode, but it's neat that they add that little feature. All right, so I'll point out one last thing, and that is it's just kind of neat, but sometimes you have the option to change between kilometers per hour and miles per hour, but what they've done here is actually give you 2 different speedometers, or 3 different speedometers. So you've got the digital one in the middle, you've got the sort of digital analog looking one on the right, but then below the fuel gauge, you actually have kilometers per hour. So that's just kind of a neat little feature there. All right, that's it for the driver's information screen. Next, we're going to move over to that beautiful 12.3-inch infotainment screen. Okay, so welcome to the beautiful 12.3-inch screen here on the infotainment system. So a couple of changes. We've got physical volume buttons, which is really nice, and a physical power button. This has got Toyota's latest multimedia system on there, which operates really nicely. So basically on the left, you've got like shortcuts, basic icons that stay here. There is no home screen, so to speak of. All right, so here we got navigation, we got media, we've got phone, we've got trip information, and then, of course, settings. Now, if I go back up here, let's just talk about this beautiful navigation system. First of all, you can control a lot of this just by voice command, and you don't have to pause between your phrase to wake up the system and your command. So for instance, hey Toyota, navigate to the closest Dairy Queen.
The closest Dairy Queen is Dairy Queen West, Treat and Cakes, at 25 Stoltzman Road. Would you like to go now?
Yes.
Calculating route to Dairy Queen West, Treat and Cakes. Proceed to the highlighted route.
Now, I like it that they give you an end button that's right there, but you can also say, hey, Toyota, cancel navigation.
Canceling trip.
Okay, so I like it. You don't have to say the name, pause, wait for it to wake up, and then give the command. You just do it all in one sentence. Okay, really neat, very responsive map right here. Twist it, zoom in, zoom out. Okay, so let me show you some of the basics here. So if I go into this right here, I can have traffic monitoring on or off, and I can call the destination assistant if I want, or just go to navigation settings. So, do I want it to show speed limit? Yes or no. Traffic incidents? Yes or no. Free-flowing traffic. Let's see. Show where home is, show where work is, show where the favorites are, show nearby parking. And then I can look at route options. And anything I check on, it's going to always remember. So if I never want to go on a toll road, I click that on, and every time I ask for a route, it will purposely avoid tolls. Okay, so all these things you can turn on or off very, very simply. Okay, now you want to do it by hand. You can press this, and then you can type in here. Okay, if you want, and then recent searches will show up there. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at media. So. Right here, you've got your different sources. Notice you can hook into Apple Music and Amazon Music. Okay? And so this is my favorites right here. Okay? I can tune by going here, and I can just, punch in the number for AM, FM, Sirius XM, any one of those. If I go to FM radio itself here, I can look at what's recently played. I can also look at all stations right here. Okay? You can have your categories right here. So the question is, how do you make something a favorite? So let's say I go here. I can just click this heart. Okay, and now I have it marked as a favorite. So when I go here, I can go to favorites right here and hit edit. They're right here. And I can delete anything that I put in there. Okay, I can also click here and change the order of the favorites. Okay, now it's going to be the same if I just go to radio here a minute and I go to AM radio, it's going to have the exact same look. And then if I go over to Sirius XM, it's going to look again the same. So they all operate the same way, which is very, very nice. Okay. Now, how do you adjust the sound? Well, to do that, you need to go into settings, and then you're going to go down to sound and media, and then you have your auto sound levelizer on or off right here. Okay, you can go to sound tuning. Okay, you can adjust your treble, mid, and bass right there. You can recenter it. This does have the upgraded JBL 9-speaker premium sound system in there, which does sound really good. Balance and fade here. You can adjust that. You have to use the arrows for that one, but then you can hit recenter, and it goes back. Okay, and then if under levels, if you have a phone stuff connected, you can adjust the ringtone, the new message, incoming sound, and the received volume sound. So that's really nice. Okay, so let's go back there. That's media. If I go down here, I can get trip information, current or history. Okay, I can clear data, I can update. If I go backwards here, I can get an energy flow chart, which shows you, whether the gas motor or the battery is giving power and if it's charging and so on. Really a neat little graph. Go back here, I can have vehicle alert. If there are any vehicle alerts, they will show up there. And then if I go to settings here, okay, I can We'll go down to vehicle customization. Here you can control lights. So it's real quick. You just read what it is, and then you can click on here and change the setting. And auto off timer, you can change daytime running lights on or off. A lot of insurances give discounts for having those, so I might leave those on. Auto off timer for the interior lights. When you lock up everything, how long does it take before they go off? Okay, door control. Okay, you want it to lock when you shift from park, or by speed, or just off. Auto unlock, same thing. Wireless key. You want a 2-press to unlock, or just a 1-press. And then lock when door opens. Okay, on or off. Boarding and exit. You want your seat to slide all the way back? Do you want your steering column to tilt up? That way, when you get out of when you turn the car off, the steering wheel goes all the way up, goes all the way in, your seat goes all the way back, easier to get out. You slide in, start the car, everything will readjust to your settings. Okay, and then there's climate. Okay, you can have AC mode with auto on or off by clicking there. All right, so let's go back from settings here. All right, so it does, you can go here, look at the software update. There's no updates available, but they would show up there if you had them, and you could download them. You would have to be parked and connected to like your home's Wi-Fi to actually update. Okay, just because they don't want things in the car shutting off while you're driving. All right, you can take a look at info security if you want. Change the name. Now, under display right here, you can turn the display off if you want. And if you do that, you just tap and it comes back on. Just so if you're driving at night, it just turns the picture off. Everything behind the scenes is still working. Okay? Based on time and ambient light, this is the contrast level. It's automatic. So if it's bright out, your screen's going to be brighter. If it's dark out, the screen's going to be dimmer. You can also manually control it. And then you have the same kind of controls for your camera. Okay, so you can adjust the contrast and the brightness of that. Okay, all right, let's go back. All right, so going down here to Bluetooth and devices, this is where you can see all the phones. You can have up to 5 phones here. If I click on my phone, I can say use for Apple CarPlay. I can say connect. And we should be all set. And you notice that Apple CarPlay now shows up in my screen. So go in there, show you Apple CarPlay quick. So this is fantastic, and I love the fact that it uses full screen. And I should point out, if you did notice, that when I had it in navigation, it was also full screen. The previous system would not let you have it full screen. This does. Okay, so you've got any app from your phone that will work with the car right here. Mostly it's all media stuff, so music, podcasts, that kind of stuff, and then navigation and weather. Okay, so lots of stuff here. If you want to get back to the Toyota thing, you're going to click that one right there. You can go to a split screen here. It shows you the current navigation or the last navigation you used. These 3 are the ones that you use last. Okay, this just means notifications are shut off while the vehicle is driving. You get a shortcut up here for the navigation, and you get a media screen right here. And this whatever was last playing as well. And Android Auto is going to look exactly the same, except for Android Auto, instead of swiping left to right, swipes up and down. Okay, but it works the same way. Okay, so, and to hook that up, when you do Bluetooth, look for a point in the setup where it'll say use Apple CarPlay or use Android Auto. Make sure you click on that, or it will revert to Bluetooth. Okay, so fantastic system there. So let's get back to Toyota here. And if I go under General, here's where I can turn the screen beep on or off. I can adjust the date or time. Although typically speaking, if I just go to the clock, it brings me right to that. You can also look at the keyboard, clear the search history if you're selling the car, and you can look at language and units, although we could change that in the driver's screen as well. Okay, let's go back. So this does have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, AM, FM, Bluetooth, HD radio for both AM and FM, and it has 4G Wi-Fi LTE hotspot as well. Okay, now under notifications, navigation during calls. You're getting a phone call. Navigation wants to tell you there's a turn coming up. Do you want that on or off? Okay, so you can decide. Okay, virtual assistant on or off. Vehicle suggestions. The vehicle might pop up a suggestion for you. You want those on or off. Okay, software updates on or off. And then these have just to do with your navigation voice telling you to do things. Like, do you want traffic alerts, state border guidance, unverified road, HOV and hot lanes? You can turn those on or off right there. Okay, it does have that built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot. You turn that on there, and then you can connect to Wi-Fi right here at your home. All right, let's go back. And we looked at display. So under sound and media, I know we looked at this before, but if I go to radio, this is where you can see that HD radio is turned on for all, like for FM and AM, and that we've told FM radio to display information. You can also clear station history, and then enhanced metadata artwork. This is when the pictures show up in the screen for the channels, you want that on or off. Okay, just wanted to point that out quickly. All right. Voice and search. Wake word. There's the wake word right there. When disabled, the system will respond with beeps instead of voice prompts. So you can turn the voice prompt off, but you'll just get beeps. So, I mean, it's a beautiful system. That 12.3 screen inch is incredible, and it's very super responsive. I love this. There's so much you can do with the voice command I don't have time to get into, but you can basically ask it anything. I'll give you one example. Hey, Toyota, I'm cold.
Setting the driver's temperature to the maximum.
Now, if I was sitting in the passenger seat and asked that, it would do it for the passenger. It can tell who's asking. If you look up in the ceiling, you'll see there's a little microphone on each side. So it's just an awesome car. Love the updates they've done in 2023 with this all-digital dash and the 12.3-inch new software infotainment system. All right. So that's it for the driver's information screen and the infotainment screen on the 2023 Venza. And again, this is the limited trim level. It's a hybrid with all-wheel drive. We hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.